Top 10 moments of 2021. Join us here at Time Out with Sports Adda as we discuss those. Arun, what a year it's been. So much cricket, in spite of the situation surrounding everyone. Bio bubbles. You've traveled for bio bubbles for 3.5 months. So what a year as we come to the culmination finally.
It has been one hell of a year, Akhil. And just to recap it in a few seconds, 448 matches played this year, international matches played this year. 448 as we record this. I'm sure
Wow.
there are internationals played. There will be internationals played over the next couple of days elsewhere in the world. So could be in for around 450 or 452 international matches in 2021, despite, like you mentioned, all that's happening around us.
Amazing. There was a COVID scare in the England camp on the second day also. So it's been a tough situation. People have not been able to travel to watch cricket. I've not. I used to love traveling to watch cricket. Not been able to do that. Just lucky that we've managed to stay safe and keep the virus away and still enjoy our favorite sport. So just thankful for that. And like I was mentioning, lists are very important for cricket fans. Everyone has their top five, top three, top 10 moments. So we are also taking that opportunity here, Arun. We're just going to talk about our 10 moments of 2021. Uh, so many of them difficult to pick. Why don't you go first? Your first one.
So many of them, Akhil. Honestly, so many of them. I sat down to prepare for this, and I just could, you keep going through what happened in the year, and you think of one series and something comes to you. You think of the next series, something else comes to you. So I've got a whole list of things. So let's not waste time. We've got to begin with that India series win in Australia, isn't it? I think that's one of your top picks.
That is definitely that will be the top pick for most people this year, I guess. Um, Unbelievable. It's like a film. It's like a film script, Arun. It felt like everything was going according to a script. It was just a magical moment for all cricket fans. Waking up at 5:30, watching some competitive cricket. It was not as if it was an easy paced victory. Bowling attack for Australia was top notch. They had their top batters also back. So hard fought victory, very special victory will be right there in the history of Indian cricket wins. So has to be top for me.
Absolutely, Akhil. Can't dispute that. Even the draw was that exciting. Even the drawn
Yeah.
test was exciting. But if you can just recall that photograph, Akhil, we just saw a couple of moments ago with the victory parade. What stands out for me in that win, in that photograph, look at the faces in the front. There's Natarajan there, there's Washington Sundar, and there's Siraj, right? Now, you wouldn't
Yeah.
have dreamt of this, even in your wildest dreams, that these three individuals would lead India to a win.
Outstanding. Outstanding. I mean, like I mentioned, it's like a dream come true. It's like a movie script. Uh, I think it's still a year down the line, and I just feel that it didn't really happen sometimes.
The one other thing, Akhil, I made a quick reference to that there. You know, it's happened, and it's happened because of the newcomers. They've had a dream year. Washington Sundar's outstanding debut. Natarajan had an outstanding debut.
Shardul,
Akshar Patel,
even though it was not his debut.
Akshar Patel had an outstanding debut, and then Shreyas Iyer. Test cricket, like many people would say, is meant to be hard, but apparently for this generation, it's just a walk in the park.
Absolutely. Also, Shubman Gill, he made his debut in that Australia series also. So fabulous here. The Indian newcomers have shown the way. Uh, we agree that that's like at the top for us this year. Uh, the next one then, next one which you can think of, which can come in the magnitude of coming in your top 10.
For me, I'm looking beyond India now, and
Yeah.
I'll pick out England's win in Sri Lanka and this how
Mm,
spectacular were Joe Root and James Anderson. On
mm,
spinning surfaces, Akhil, or when Lasith Embuldenia and
yeah.
Dilruvan Pereira, and whoever else was there.
Yeah,
Joe Root scored 228 and 186 to lead England to a 2-0 win. The next highest by any English batsman would have been a 70 or a 60 or a 50. He was magnificent in that series. And I picked out James Anderson's 6 for 40. Before I come to
Hmm.
that, also got to mention that that's where Joe Root started, his magnificent year. He
yeah,
started in Sri Lanka, got runs in India, and he's just been going along, motoring along. But for me, Joe Root in that series, and I'll also make a mention of James Anderson and Stuart Broad. Anderson, there were always question marks about his performances in the subcontinent, but there were
yeah.
two spells there. Anderson picked up 6 for 40 at Gaul. Some of the best bowling I've seen. Those on surfaces where spinners were getting the ball to turn this much from ball one.
Hmm.
He was outstanding. And I'll mention Stuart Broad as well, though I'm not a big fan of his, but I have to mention the job he did here. In Gaul, 17 overs, 11 maidens, 14 runs a kill. He did a job, spectacular job, on conditions which are not too friendly. He was coming out of an hibernation. It was humid in Gaul. You've got to credit, got to recognize those special performances.
Yeah, and a rare series victory for England in what has been a disaster for them. So tough series victory, always tough to still win series in Sri Lanka. So good pick that. Uh, what about West Indies winning in Bangladesh? What do you make of that chase? I think a lot of people must have forgotten that because I mean I couldn't see that live telecast of that match, but look at the numbers there. What a chase! I mean, who would have imagined chasing Bangladesh with spinners on in a last day fourth innings to chase 395? Brilliant this.
Outstanding win. And if I remember correctly, that was Kyle Mayers' test debut kill. To score a
Hmm.
double hundred in a winning cause, fourth innings in Asia, not going to be easy, but they accomplished that. 395, in any part of the world will be difficult,
Yeah.
particularly if you're looking at it in Asian conditions. Outstanding win that.
I mean, West Indies are my all-time favorites, Arun. I love watching West Indies cricket. I was hoping that after this win, they'll start like getting their mojo back in Test cricket, but seems to have not gone very far ahead. But encouraging signs this.
That win, Akhil, that win, by the way, is the highest fourth innings run chase in Test matches in Asia. So
Wow.
they've created history, by the way. I'll also tell you another thing there. This is a man who did that. I watched him play
Yeah.
in Sri Lanka recently. Didn't get the runs which were expected, but he looked good. The brief while he was there, he looked good. Since we've spoken about Sri Lanka, since we've spoken about West Indies, I just want to make a mention. In this era of T20 cricket, white ball specialists, riches, I want to recognize two players who don't play T20 cricket at all. The West Indies captain, Craig Brathwaite, has not played a single T20 Akhil in this era. Can you believe? Even though Cheteshwar Pujara has played, has been part of the IPL, but Craig Brathwaite in his career has not played a single T20 match. I've also got to give credit to Dimut Karunaratne, the Sri Lankan captain. Outstanding batsman, highly talented, and somebody who will go the distance. Now, I was in Sri Lanka recently watching him play against the West Indies. And you speak to anybody, they say he'll be among, I think I could have been Mahela or could have been Sangha who said he'll be among Sri Lanka's top three test batsmen by the time he ends his career. These two players, they've got a role. They've got a space for test match specialists, and I've got to recognize that.
That's good. Sri Lanka have had a tough transition after Mahela and Sangakkara. So it's always nice to see them get those players. We've always spoken about Hasaranga regularly. Karuna Ratne deserves that praise. Magnificent batting right now. He had a brilliant series right now versus the West Indies. So hats off to him. Uh, then there's a big one, Arun, moving ahead in our moments of 2021, the World Test Championship final. Your favorite captain winning the title, not your favorite team, but your favorite captain winning it. What a run New Zealand have had, Arun. They deserve a documentary on this. 2015 World Cup final, 50 over World Cup final. 2019 World Cup final, 50 overs. 2021 T20 World Cup finals, and then the World Test Championship winners. So it's not just a one-off run that they've had. It's a good period of consistency. Amazing.
They made the finals, like you mentioned, in the 50 over format, in the 20 over format, and in the test match format. And this is a team that does not have superstars, Akhil. If you're looking at, when I mention superstars, I'm talking about big commercial contracts, endorsements, brands, nothing. You will not see any of these. You go around the world, you go around the cricket playing nations, you will not see them on billboards or banners or in TVCs. So really, really happy for Kane Williamson there, and they were clinical. They were absolutely clinical. In winning that final against India, and richly
Mm, They
deserved.
got They got the best of the conditions. I might add that as an Indian cricket fan. They played in conditions that were favorable, but that's how the format is, so no complaints there. Um, what was also interesting, Arun, is they played a test match against England just before the World Test Championship final, and they won a series in England, again, which is a very rare accomplishment for them. They've not gone to England too many times and won a test series. So they found some new heroes there, and they won a series in England, which I thought was outstanding and did not get the credit that it deserved. Any team to go to England and beat them, Australia couldn't beat them last time in the Ashes. It was a drawn series, so it was a huge achievement, not spoken about much.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Uh, Perhaps not spoken about much because New Zealand and England are similar conditions, but still for New Zealand to be able to beat a big team like England at home deserves recognition. Now, there were two test matches. One of them was rain affected and ended in a draw. But New Zealand
Yeah.
won the second test match quite convincingly, and yeah, they won the series 1-0.
This was New Zealand's year. I mean, finally they qualified for the World Test Championship final. They beat India. Who would have thought that they would also contest the T20 World Cup final, Arun? I mean, I'm sure nobody had picked them as favorites to qualify in the final. But again, like you used a word, clinical precision to beat India in the all important match. And then what a run till the final until they had to be they ran into Matthew Wade and Mitchell Marsh. So what a series for them also in that T20 World Cup.
Really, really happy for them, Akhil. Really happy for New Zealand. Uh, Everybody contributed. It wasn't just it wasn't just one or two superstars contributing. It was everybody contributing. Important match-winning performances. On their day. Even Jimmy Neesham, who gets trolled a lot on Twitter, who's a funny man on social media. Even he had he actually delivered the goods when the team needed the most. So yeah. I mean, the one thing I am disappointed, I'm still rowing it is, we kind of, I was working on the World Cup, and we kind of ran, I was an analysis producer, and we ran a package on how Kane Williamson kind of tries to take a run, runs the ball down to third man and gets a strike. So a couple of instances after I ran the analysis package, I think Scotland was the game where they blocked that area in third man, didn't allow him to get off strike. The next ball he was dismissed. So it happened a couple of times. I'm still kind of telling myself, why did you do this around? But really happy for Williamson and this team. They didn't beat the enemy, the old enemy Australia in the final. But again, I'm happy for Australia as well. Aaron Finch, Mitchell Stark, Josh Hazelwood, Pat Cummins. There's so many good guys there. I mean, I've enjoyed watching them play. I've enjoyed working with them. So really happy for Australia as well. And for Justin
And what a
Langer, I should mention. After all the turmoil that
and
happened before, happy for JL as well.
what a comeback for David Warner. The way he was striking the ball in that T20 World Cup, and what Mitchell Marsh and Matthew Wade showed Marcus Stoinis. Uh, Arun, these T20 World Cups, they keep coming and they going, so they don't stay in memory. But the hitting that Stoinis and Wade and Warner, Mitchell Marsh, the kind of hits that they handled under pressure were unbelievable. I mean, I'm sure the IPL franchisees have all taken notice. Mitchell March has already he's earned a lot of money in across leagues, so it's going to be a bumper year for him this year in the auction if he stays fit and he comes back.
He's continuing the good work in the Big Bash League as we speak. He's doing well.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, first ever T20 World Cup win for Australia, Akhil. That is the
special
one
for them.
title that kind of they didn't have on in their wardrobe, but they've got that trophy cabinet. They've got that as well now. You briefly mentioned about Matthew Wade, Akhil. two performances from that World Cup that I want to take. I want to kind of remind people of. One is Matthew Wade against Shaheen Shah Afridi in the semi-final. We thought,
Wow.
again, I was working on that game, and the win predictor kept swaying this way, that way. At one point, Pakistan were way ahead, and then that the last couple of overs, Matthew Wade used the pace from Shaheen Afridi to score finally. Those two sixes. Shaheen Afridi features in another performance of mine, which Indian fans will remember, but not for the right reasons.
Beauty.
That those two deliveries against India, Akhil.
Beauties. I mean, you not, and these were informed players, as you could see in the England series. So they were proper Test match batsmen who were beaten by pace and movement. It's a dream for any cricket fan. Forget whether it's Indian or Pakistani. Those were dream deliveries for any cricket fan to just watch. I mean, you can't dismiss a KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma with such kind of beauties regularly. So
Yeah.
it was as rare as it can get.
Dream ball, absolute dream ball.
Hmm. Another dream run for Captain Kohli. Winning in England was always considered important for anyone. Again, we haven't won.
It is still not a win. Technically, it is still not a win. I mean, it's still a question mark. Like Ravi mentioned, it's perhaps going to be the longest series, but India, that's the way I'm looking at it. India leading 2-1.
India leading 2-1, but what a performance by India in three out of the four matches. There was just one collapse where the team got bundled out for some 70 odd runs, but otherwise good positions in all three matches. Whenever the team needed some people to stand up, each match there was a different performer. Obviously, Rohit and KL Rahul, Pujara got some important runs. Virat got important runs, and Shardul Thakur again emerging himself as the uh, what you I mean you can't call him an all rounder yet, but fast bowlers also delivering. So important partnership with Shami and Bumrah, if you remember at Lords,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
unbelievable. Like that series was a magnificent one to watch.
The standout for me from that series, Akhil, is how tight the defense of KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma were. These are two
Hmm.
flamboyant batsmen. They never really reached out to the ball early on. That was their undoing, generally until that series. But if you go back and watch that series, they never reached out to the ball. They were playing close to the body,
Outstanding,
playing the ball below their eye. I was
outstanding,
so happy to see both of them doing that.
outstanding. Okay, we spoke about India
We
and England.
Yeah, we've also got to talk about my favorite tournament, the Indian T20 League, the IPL. And so many stars have emerged, Akhil. I'm just going to quickly read out a few names, players who I thought were impressive. Starting off with Rutraj Gaikwad, Faf du Plessis, Glenn Maxwell, Venkatesh Iyer, Harshal Patel, Varun Chakravarti. And then the final, in the penultimate match of the season, Akhil, of the league season, the way Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav lit up Abu Dhabi against Sunrisers Hyderabad,
Hmm.
it was astonishing. There was not a moment of calm in that first innings of that match. Both of them scored 80, took Mumbai to 235 for 9. The match was over. Sunrisers were living by the smallest of hopes. The way Ishan Kishan and Surya batted, destroyed those hopes.
Amazing. The Indian T20 League played across two different months, broken because of the COVID problems
Pandemic.
that happened, and they managed to conduct the tournament. Chennai managed to win it from difficult positions. MS Dhoni had a special chase in one of the games, so it was a special tournament for Chennai. Uh, I had to talk about, and I this is one stat Arun, that as a young batter you always wanted to own a stat, and that I've picked out that moment. Joe Root, so close to a test record, which is a very very coveted one. Most number of test runs in a calendar year. Mohammad Yusuf has surpassed Vivian Richards, which in itself for me was a big thing, Arun, because to surpass Sir Vivian Richards, these numbers are rare. Joe Root is having a real purple patch, and he just doesn't seem like he's going to stop. He's still getting a 50 in whatever innings he's playing.
He's had an outstanding year, and it it's not like he won't get runs which will make an impact, which will kind of, make you sit up and say, this guy's playing like this, he'll silently accumulate runs, but at the same time, his strokes are stylish. No, it's not like a Rohit Sharma innings or a Rishabh Pant innings, where you see sixes, you see boundaries, you see a bit of aggression, on the face. With Joe Root's quietly accumulate, and by the time, he's 30, 35, when there's a 50, he'll raise his bat, he'll start all over again. And then before you know it, he's 85, 90, and 100 bat raise again. He's done it so often this year. So often this year.
His battle with Jasprit Bumrah in those 4 tests was beautiful to watch. Even though he got runs in almost every match, if you remember, Bumrah got him at important times in a couple of test matches also. So it was a fascinating contest to watch for me. I was hoping to have a lot more Cummins versus Joe Root battle also in these Ashes. But yeah, we'll talk about that in our separate section. Okay, one special one, Arun, which happens very rarely, happened after 1999. Uh, a bowler picking up 10 wickets in an innings. How it's the third time that happened in Test cricket, and a New Zealand spinner picking it up. A New Zealand spinner hardly gets to play cricket, and he picked up 10 wickets against India. A lifetime, once in a lifetime performance for him.
I'll change that. I'll tweak that briefly, Akhil. A Mumbai-born New Zealand spinner picks up all 10 wickets in an innings at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. What a dream performance that was. I mean, after the fifth or sixth wicket, people started saying all 10 possible, question mark. The seventh wicket, again, people said this is a good chance. Eighth wicket, then people said, oh, Jesus, this is going to be history. Ninth wicket, people knew, okay, this will happen at some point. When will it happen? Eventually happened. Eventually, absolutely happened.
I'm so happy to see him like a bowler who's not so well known in the fraternity to take 10 wickets. Really amazing that something like that
A
happened.
very understated bowler, Akhil. A very understated. Again, I mean, typical of New Zealand. You'll not see him on billboards. You'll not see him in magazine covers. You'll not see him, in TVCs. But somebody who just goes silently does his job. He will come up against difficult situations like he has immediately after the 10 wicket haul. He's not been picked in New Zealand's test squad for the next series at home. That's because of the conditions. But to pick 10 wickets in an innings, make that indelible mark in history, achievement. Massive achievement.
Okay, fantastic. So those were our moments of 2021. So much of cricket has happened. Test cricket stays in memory for longer somehow. Uh, and just that moment where Rishabh Pant hit that.
Sorry, Akhil. Before we wrap, I've got to add one last thing. That opening partnership between KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal at Centurion and that KL Rahul 100. KL Rahul started off so slowly. He was watchful, but then he kind of opened up and it showed you two facets of his batting. One that he'd worked on his temperament, and one which you always knew that he had the strokes in the book. So that's the last moment I'd like to add.
Okay, so these were our moments of 2021. Been a really tough year for everyone, but cricket has survived. Cricket has thrived. In fact, two big tournaments, T20 tournaments happened. So much of Test cricket has successfully happened. Uh, Please send us your thoughts, your moments of 2021. We'd love to hear those and discuss those also. From everyone here at Time Out with Sports Adda, we wish you a happy new year, and we'll be back soon. There are test matches coming up in the Ashes as well as the India South Africa series. So we'll be back here and talking more of cricket with you guys. Thank you so much.